This week on Movie Mayhem Live, we have Tiffany Haddish and Whoopi Goldberg. Movie reviews of Bohemian Rhapsody, Nobody's Fool, The Nutcracker, and like 10 million other movies. But first, we got to take you to a little river town in Beaver County, Pennsylvania, Monaca. It's Movie Mayhem Live. Hey everyone, I'm Chuck the Movie Guy, and welcome to podcast number 14 of Movie Mayhem Live. And this show is jam-packed. Take a look at the back monitor. We have Bohemian Rhapsody, Nobody's Fool, The Nutcracker, Beautiful Boy, Suspiria, The Happy Prince, Boy Erased. That's a lot of movies, so let's get started. Get a little corner bug action going on here, turn on the desk monitor, and of course, the all-important Join the Show crawl. Now, you hear me talk about this every week. At the top of the the top of the Facebook page, right below the logo, you see that Contact Us button. If you just click on it, you'll be instantly teleported into the show, but yet you don't call. We've asked you for 14 weeks. Is it too difficult? Do you just not love us? So we came up with a simpler way for you to be part of the show. Just go to calluslive.com. Calluslive.com. Go there and you'll be on the show, or click on the button. Either one, it works the same way. And we have, like I said, we got to get started on this show. So let's go to the monitors here and get the box office Bonnie in Toronto, Canada, high atop CN Tower. Bonnie, what's going on? There we go.
I'm sorry that I'm all pixely today. I don't know what the problem is.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm here with you.
It's Canada. It's
I guess so.
It's the things that are going wrong in Canada. So
we're getting some bad weather, so you know.
Oh no, I feel bad. Hey, all right, it is time to go to Vegas and talk to the Vegas film critic. Wait a minute, I'm getting an error. It's saying we cannot verify the distance to Vegas. If only there was a way to verify the distance between here and Vegas.
Give me a ping, Vasily. One ping only, please. Aye, Captain.
There we go. It's working now. All right, he's now at the Wynn. He's got kicked out of the MGM. There he is. Hey, what's happening?
I'm flying through the air.
Hey, Jeff, what's happening?
Oh my gosh, I'm sitting there just cruising eBay looking at Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, and he's like, Jeff, call in! And I'm like, I completely forgot about the show today. So,
oh, nice.
Oh,
sorry.
that's great. Hey, wait a minute. Where's Greg Russell, Detroit? Wait a minute.
You've got Detroit.
You've got mail. 10 minutes ago. Hey, Chuck, I hope you're well. Good news, bad news. Good news, I just sent you my Melissa McCarthy interview for her new movie, Can You Ever Forgive Me? It's pretty funny. The bad news is Greg forgot he had a screening. So he, unfortunately, he said, he would have definitely been better off. He said he'll be here next week. Signed, your best friend, Greg.
Yeah, suck crap.
That really ticks me off. Hey, I got to ask. I know we got like a million things to cover, but Jeff, you against no screening at all for critics, which is always a bad sign. Please give us the 15-second rundown.
To the Cold War kind of movies that I grew up with, like The Spy Who Loved Me with James Bond. So it is full of action. It is full of technical accuracy with the subs, with everything that goes on with it. I loved it. I had a great time with it.
Wow.
It was nonstop action. It was exciting. I mean, I really liked it. So they got a real winner. I thought it was fantastic.
Wow, I'm a little bit shocked. You care to give it a rating for all the people we were making fun of it last week?
Oh yeah, a B.
Oh, no way, a B. You know, I almost.
I'll watch it again. I'll watch it again. There's so much going by in that movie.
I almost went to went to see that. So okay, well let's jump right. As you saw, we have a ton of movies that to get to, and we are going to jump right into it. And let's take a look at. What do you think? How about Okay, how about
Nutcracker? Can
what's
we do
it?
Nutcracker?
No, no,
'Cause
no.
Yeah,
We're
let's-
holding off
okay.
on the
Okay.
Nutcracker. We're starting off on
Ugh.
Bohemian Rhapsody. By the way, that was the entire movie, if you think about it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I know
If
you
you haven't
guys.
seen that trailer, you've been on Mars or something. You're right.
I know exactly. I mean, if you don't know exactly what's happening there, go ahead, Jeff. Give us the quick and easy rundown. Shorten it up.
Well, it's the story of Queen, how Freddie Mercury got together with the rest of the band and changed rock and roll and music history. And this is a band that, after nursery rhymes and Disney songs, this was along with the first rock band that I remember in elementary school all the way through my junior high and high school and college career. I mean, this was my band. So I was really excited to see what they were going to do with this movie. And so it's essentially a biopic of Queen.
Yeah.
But that's the setup. Now, you want my review, or do you want me to?
No. Well, you can go ahead right into your review. What did you think of the movie?
I didn't know there's so many ways to do this movie, to do a Queen movie for any band. And first of all, I was kind of disappointed because it's really the Freddie Mercury story. And it is the Freddie Mercury story when you talk about Queen. So the movie really concentrated more on his extravagant lifestyle, his creativity, his private life, sexual private life, his drug addiction, all these crazy things. That could have been a separate movie. I wanted more as a fan about Queen because I wanted to know more how these songs came about, and they just give us little tastes of "We Will Rock You" and another one, "Bites the Dust." But I wanted more about the band because the band eventually in the movie got pushed into the background, and Rami Malek is Freddie Mercury. If there's any reason to see this movie, is to see him. He is channeling Freddie Mercury, and I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but it's not the movie I wanted about Queen, so
right.
all I can come away is just saying Rami Malek's incredible, but the rest of the movie, it just didn't interest me.
All right, Bonnie. What about you? What are your thoughts?
Okay, well, I really enjoyed it. I have to say that I know it's getting trashed a lot by critics online everywhere, and I'm thinking, like, slow down here. And I was talking on the radio today about it. Someone was asking me, and they said, well, did they, they didn't play up him being gay enough. And I said, okay, first of all, they touched they didn't hide anything. We know that he was gay. Who cares? That's not what the movie is about, people.
Okay.
Yeah, right? Hello, he's a little flamboyant. We get it. I agree with you, Jeff. It is. Listen, we learn a lot about Freddie Mercury, but I felt, we did learn a lot about the band. There could have definitely been more released about. You're right. Certain songs, how they came about, but that could have been a 6-hour film. So I kind of understand that where they had to cut it, and to condense it down. But yes, people, they did not skirt on the fact that Freddie Mercury was gay and that he had gay relationships. That's, again, not the point of the film. So I have to say, Rami Malek is absolutely brilliant. He really does channel Freddie. The teeth were extremely distracting, but just after watching some more Queen videos, yeah, his teeth were pretty bad. Maybe they overdid it a little bit in the movie, but I'll let that go. Rami will get a Oscar nomination for this, or he should. He is so brilliant. And for my money, the last 15 minutes of that movie, when they recreated the Live Aid performance, and that's not a spoiler because everybody knows it, was brilliant. It was pretty much shot for shot. After I saw the movie, I came home and YouTubed it. I honestly couldn't believe how brilliantly it was done. Oh my goodness, it was totally worth the money for that.
Well, here's my thing with the movie was I felt like I was watching a very glossed over version. It was like somebody in the Queen camp made this movie about what they wanted you to see. I'm like, there's no way that happened that way, and come on, you know what I mean? So I thought it was a really, after school special version.
There's a lot of inconsistencies. A lot of the dates are wrong in this movie. A lot of it is not factually correct if you're a Queen fan. Because I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, I bought that album this year. They're saying it's this year. What happened? And there's a large gap between Bohemian Rhapsody, between Night at the Opera's album, and then all of a sudden he's doing his solo album. It's like, what? What happened? There's like 4 or 5 albums between that. So it's really a rushed version of the history of Queen. But I'm as a fan, I'm just saying I wish as a fan it was something a little different. But overall, it's not a bad movie. I didn't think at all. I was never bored. I was intrigued. And you're right, Bonnie. That last 15 minutes at the Wembley Stadium, and I even did some research on it. That's the actual audio from the concert they used. So it's incredible.
I know.
It really is.
That was really good. I don't know, you guys couldn't see it, but while we were playing the while we while we were the clip was playing, Jeff and I were bopping back and forth. I was trying to figure out a way to get to our heads while we were doing that, but then it would have stopped the video. But yeah,
Real
so.
quick, one of the Queen members, I think it was Roger. What's his name?
Deacon?
The bass player.
Deacon.
Deacon. That is Joseph Mazzello, the little boy from Jurassic Park. Yeah, so I mean, totally blew me away. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
I read your book. That's the kid. Yeah, so and they all look exactly like the band members. They talk like them. Yeah, I was uncanny.
Yeah.
They even say they were blown away by their performances. So yeah, because they had total control of this movie. Don't make any mistake about that. They controlled what they wanted their official movie to be like. And I think if you're a Queen fan, even if you're not, you're gonna come away loving the music.
All right, so give me a letter grade, Jeff.
B, absolutely.
Wow, B for
B
Jeff.
for the movie and an A for Malik. He's just, I mean,
yeah,
he
was good, but you're right that those teeth were really distracting. Bonnie, give me a letter grade.
I try not to think about it.
Yeah. I'm with Jeff. A B for the movie and A for Rami.
Oh,
For
really?
sure.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna, B minus for me. I know you hate those minuses, Jeff, but I thought Rami was really good, but I wanted to see more dirt. I wanted to see
For award season consideration, for Oscars and all the critics groups, I think you're just going to see for Rami and nothing else, because there's really nothing else in the movie really grabbed you. Especially, I love Mike Myers' cameo as the EMI record exec. He was great, and the little nod towards Wayne's World he said in there. I want kids driving down the street, jumping there. Very funny, very funny.
Yeah. All right.
That made me laugh, especially being a Torontonian, and Mike is from Toronto, and that was just the best. Yeah.
Next up, by popular demand. Hi. Okay. All right. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but
I see it next week.
Well, okay. Okay. So Bonnie saw it, but there's a little bit of trouble in critic world. It's front page news, and it would be so much nicer if when I pressed the button that it would actually work. So hold on one second. Do it again. Worked all day on this, and here we go. It's Mayhem, people. Gino's in love. Sandra, who? And let's find out why.
Why should I hide it?
No, you should not hide
He's
it.
turning completely red. He's in
I
love.
love it. I love it.
Did you hear something? I did.
It's just
Can
me
you
and
excuse
you.
me?
Okay.
It's just me and you, baby.
Gino, Salomone, the Dish Network, and Fox.
This is Gino's interview with Tiffany Haddish. I'm not in it. Go on, Gino. He's turning completely red. He's completely in love with her. Go on, Gino. I'm not here.
He speaks the truth.
Thank you.
How great was it writing with her in mind?
Oh, are you kidding me? Easy for me, and I say this all the time because I felt like I was writing for a young Medea. All the things Medea would have said 30 years ago or 40 years ago is what Tiffany was doing. But yeah, I'll let you ask her question. Go ahead. Don't try to include me. Go and talk to her.
Would you live in Milwaukee?
Would I live in Milwaukee? I've done many comedy shows there. The last time I was there, it was a snowstorm blizzard.
I know.
And I had to cancel because I couldn't fly in. I had to reschedule. And the audience there, the people there are amazing.
Yeah.
Would I live there? It's a little cold. Maybe
All
in
right.
the summer or springtime.
See, Tyler, I wasn't allowed because the court order kept me away from that show.
Is that right?
Yes.
Good.
I want to talk about this movie because it works
He is
so well
really going over
on
you.
so
Like,
many
that's real.
levels.
I like
But I'm talking about the movie.
Okay, let's talk about the movie. Do your job, man. Stop swooning over Tiffany Haddish.
Honestly, I can feel the heat coming off.
We see it.
I love it. Looking like a tomato.
Italian tomato.
Yes, I'm going to put you in my salad.
Stop it. Okay, the movie.
The movie.
Yes.
How did this come about in your mind?
I wanted to, shit. All right, I wrote this movie because I wanted to work with Tiffany on something, and writing for her was just a dream to have this moment, to see her rise, to see what's happening for her, because we worked together on If Loving You Is Wrong 5 years ago. So to see her get this moment and have it happen, I'm just so proud of her.
Right. What's on your list?
What's on my list? Well, as far as men goes?
Yes.
Gino.
Well, an older gentleman with salt and pepper hair that blushes whenever we look into each other's eyes.
talking.
Beautiful smile.
Can we
a
wrap this
great
up? Is it time to
laugh,
wrap? Nobody's
a
on
nice
November 2nd.
blazer.
Believe me, you know I'm going to sell it. I came up with my own list. I'd like you to read the words, but don't read what they spell out.
You want me to read
Yes,
it?
my list.
Okay, it's Tinder. You want to meet somebody on Tinder? Interesting, funny, fantastic, amazing, nasty, and youthful, and it spells Tiffany.
That's your freak, baby. She ready.
Tender, interesting, funny, fantastic, amazing,
Nasty.
and
Gotta throw that
Gotta
in.
get a little nasty. Yes.
All right, back to the movie. The joy in troubled times when an audience full of people is sitting there laughing where you miss the next line. And you have advice, by the way, if you do miss a line.
Yeah, go see it. Go see
Go
it
see it
again.
again.
Go see it again.
Yeah.
But no, and everything that's happening in the country, this is what people need. Go out and laugh.
Right.
Forget about everything just for a minute. Escapism. That's what movies have always been. So I'm hoping people just go out and just prepare to laugh. It's rated R. My first rated R comedy, even though I've done other rated R movies. Go get it. Go get it.
I agree. And Whoopi Goldberg back. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
for sure, man. We love Whoopi. Love
Amazing.
Whoopi.
That's
All
my
right.
mama.
There's another movie. See,
Yeah,
we
that's
can keep
my mama.
going. Happy, so
I
happy.
think we should bring
for-
that TV series back.
So
What you
happy.
think?
for
I
you.
think that's my mama.
There we go.
That was one of my
There we
favorite
go.
shows as a kid.
There we go.
All right, I must wrap. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
I
man.
don't think I'm gonna take the plane home. I'm gonna just
Just
fly.
fly. Yeah, there it is.
Wow, that's one of Gino's best for sure. I think Sandra Bullock's gonna be a little bit ticked when she sees that online, because that's definitely
Probably,
good.
yeah.
But Gino wasn't the only one to sit down with the cast. Our own Greg Russell, who's too busy watching movies to join us, sat down with Whoopi Goldberg.
The special kind of mom. It's like, I just want my kids to leave me alone.
Yeah.
On both
Amber
sides.
Riley.
Yeah, I still feel like that. My daughter, she's like, I feel like you may be playing yourself. It's possible.
Uh-huh. And then here you are. You're also the best friend of the daughter.
Yes.
Who kind of like sees some of the things she needs to see, but it's like you got that list, or she has that list.
She has that list, and she's like, "Come on, let's go through this list. Is this realistic? Like, is this actually what you want?" My character is just fun to play. I think she's a little bit like me because I am like that with my friends, like the one that gives advice, or kind of like the mama bear of the group. Even though she has her mom, she's kind of like that other angel on the shoulder, sometimes the devil.
And of course, a Tyler Perry movie, and he told me, he said he couldn't wait, to get you there, because he said, I wanted Whoopi to do her comedic chops and get it all going. And it's like, she did. Like I said, you're just
She
funny.
did.
Well, he just said, okay, so I'm like a wind-up toy. And so that's what he did. He wound me up, and he put me down. He said, go. I said, okay, how much can I do? He said, just do you. It's like, okay. And, 10 days we shot this. I shot for 1 day, they shot for 10. 6 cameras with a man who knows what he's doing. When I grow up, I'd like to do this more.
Mm-hmm. And I'm right there with you. One day I'm going to grow up and really
Yes,
be dangerous,
yes.
out there. But I'm enjoying being a kid
Yeah,
for all this
it's
time.
heaven.
It is.
Okay. All right, now, Bonnie, so 2 of the 3 critics that saw this movie have bailed on us this week, you being the only one that saw it. The clips that I've seen, I think, are funny. These interviews are really funny. But I know for a fact that you hated this movie.
I did not like this movie, and there's a reason why I didn't like this movie. Okay, first of all, let me just preface that Greg Russell interview. Beside Whoopi was Amber Riley, who Glee fanatics will recognize.
Yep.
Hello. Why didn't Tyler utilize her voice in this movie? She didn't sing nothing. Okay,
Oh,
so
really?
that's just one complaint.
Okay.
Anyway, I digress. I just have to get that out of there. But here's the story. So Tiffany Haddish, for me, is right now a little bit overkill. We saw her last month with Kevin Hart. We see her in this. She's got something. She's also, or 2 months ago, Kevin Hart. Then The Oath was just out a few weeks ago. Now this. It's just Tiffany Haddish overkill. And don't get me wrong, I think she's funny, but I just think that she's just so over the top that for me, she just drives me insane. So by the time I sat down to watch this movie, I was like, oh my God, please, enough. She just doesn't shut up. She just keeps going and doesn't shut up. Like, shut up.
So tell us how
that's
you
one
really
thing.
feel there, Bonnie. I mean,
And
how
here's
good
the
can
other
I...
thing.
She's like Zach Galifianakis. He hit the big time with The Hangover, and then he did
Right.
every script that came down the pike because she's on fire right now. And sometimes
Yes.
the material works for her, and sometimes it doesn't. So
Yeah.
it didn't work in Night School at all. But
Right.
I think she's really funny. But you're right, Bonnie. I keep thinking to myself, wow, she's just going to get overexposed quickly.
Well, yeah, how
Like,
good
take
can
a
a movie
break.
be that took 10 days to shoot? You know?
Well, that's it. I mean, listen, it's
doesn't hurt
Tyler
it. Yeah.
Perry. They're all happy to work with Tyler Perry, and I understand that. And it's no Medea. But here's the biggest flaw of this film that really bothered me. Tiffany Haddish plays as we heard, Whoopi Goldberg has two daughters. The other one's played by Tika Sumpter. So Tika Sumpter, beautiful girl, and she's the well-to-do. She works in an advertising agency and all this, and finds out that her sister, played by Tiffany Haddish, is getting out of jail. And so the mother doesn't want to have anything to, well, it's not that she doesn't have anything to do with her. She just doesn't want her to live at her house because her mother, Whoopi Goldberg, just likes to smoke weed and have a good time and all that. And so meanwhile, so Tiffany has to go and live with her sister. Her sister is a spoiled woman who is somehow being hacked online. She's, for the last year, has been, quote unquote, dating a guy who she's never met, but she's totally in love with him. And in the end, she's basically kind of being catfished. I don't want to give away too much. So she meets there's this guy downstairs outside of her office, really good looking guy, really nice guy. He runs the coffee shop, and she comes in every day and she gets her coffee, and he refuses to charge her for it and clearly loves her. Gives Tiffany Haddish a job. I know Jeff is already falling asleep at the
I'm like, wrap it up here. We know you hated the movie. Just
I know. I just have to set it up because basically what really bothered me was that the spoiled sister just makes all the wrong choices, and it just pissed me off so much that honestly just spoiled the whole movie for me. So that's why I hated this movie.
all right. Well, give me a letter grade then.
Oh, D.
D. Oh, well, that's
D. Hated it.
Okay. All right.
It really was painful. I'm sure you guys will see it and it won't be as.
No, it probably won't.
I'll
Probably
let you
won't.
know
But it
next
was
week.
painful.
I'll see
Okay.
you next
Oh, he's
week.
gonna see
Okay.
it. All right. So next up, the great Lasse Hallström's new movie, The Nutcracker. Jeff, what the heck's going on here? I'm so confused.
Have you guys seen this movie, or am I the only one?
No.
I haven't seen it either. It's you, buddy.
Oh my gosh, I wish you had seen this movie because it is out there. And this is a remake of the 77 Italian film, which is an hour longer than the original. And my recommendation is don't watch the original because it's really has nothing to do with the new version. But you got this witches' coven here in Germany in the 1970s, and Dakota Johnson shows up, who is going to dance in this
Dakota
dance
Johnson, I'm running to the theater right now.
Tilda Swinton runs this.
No wonder
this
I didn't go.
Now, I've heard great things about Tilda Swinton in this role.
She doesn't play one. She
Yes.
doesn't play two. She plays three different roles. Three different roles. And of course, Dakota Johnson is almost like the chosen one. She
Did
can
you
dance,
say
she's
Dakota
incredible.
Johnson? I gotta go, guys. Is this movie starting?
No, because not only is this movie 2 hours long, but it's 2 hours of the most incredible horror film I've ever seen. And what I mean by that is it takes the horror film and rises it to art, to an art form. I know I'm being really lofty and critical here, but this movie takes about 30 minutes for it to get going because you're scratching your head going, what the hell's going on? And when things start happening, they're gory, they're disgusting, and it's like watching a painting come to life. It's really hard to describe this movie, but as the movie went on, I absolutely fell in love with it because I'm a horror fan, and I've never seen anything like this. You know, and you like dancing, Bonnie, when you talk about the end of Nutcracker, the dancing in this is some of the most wild, original modern dance I've ever seen. I mean, it's really weird.
Okay.
And then not only that, these witches really do some really terrible things to people. I mean, it's really disgusting. So it's horrific, it's intriguing, and it's just an amazing art film. I don't know how to describe it, but it's 2 hours long. So get comfortable. And if you like that kind of movie, if you want to give it a chance, you got to just sit there and be patient. But I came out just loving this film.
And how was Dakota Johnson?
She was amazing. She really was.
Liar!
Johnson,
You're a liar!
No, she was incredible. She carries the entire film, and Tilda is amazing too because she plays. I don't want to give away the other.
Well, she's Tilda Swinton.
What the second character she plays in the movie? It took me 30 minutes to realize that was her. You know, I was like, "Holy cow, that's Tilda Swinton."
I know what you're talking about. I saw it online. I'm not going to say anything. So.
And Bonnie, this is just like Nutcracker. I don't know who to tell to go see this movie because it's so out there. 99% of the movie-going audience will hate me for recommending this. So if you like horror films, if you like something experimental, this is the movie for you. I was thrilled to see something so original.
Hard pass for me. Okay, so Jeff, give me a letter grade.
You'll get a screener. Did you guys get that art piece from the director or something?
Well, Dakota Johnson's in it, so I guess I'll put it on the top of the pile.
What? How come
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I got a poster, a mini poster from an artist, her interpretation of Suspiria. How come I'm the only one who got this? Nobody else got it.
Did this in any way influence your review?
No, it didn't. Because
Okay.
I was angry the first 30 minutes of this movie. I'm like, what is going on?
Okay.
You better start telling me something or I'm leaving.
All right, give me a letter grade, Jeff.
A B. A real good.
A
A solid B.
solid B for
Yes.
Jeff. Okay. All right. Next up is Beautiful Boy. Oh, okay. So, all right.
I thought we reviewed this. We didn't review this yet?
we did not review this
No.
yet. No.
I thought we talked about Timothy Chalamet already. I guess we didn't.
No,
Okay.
it must have been another podcast. So. that
Oh,
you're
no,
on
no.
that
There's,
you didn't
there's
tell
only
us
this
about.
one. Sean.
All
Only
right.
this one, Sean.
Well, Bonnie, you
Yeah.
want to take this one?
Sure. It's based on a true story. I saw it at the Toronto International Film Festival. Another story about a young boy who has terrible drug addiction, played by Timothy Chalamet, who is, the kid's amazing. He's a very, very good actor. There's no question about it. Steve Carell plays his father. And it's heartbreaking. It's a hard one to watch. It's brutal, especially being a parent, to watch your child when you try everything conceivable. You'll do anything for them to try to help them get better, to put them into rehab, and they just don't want to clean up. And there gets to a point where, it's tough love. What's neat about this film is that Amy Ryan, who plays,
she was in another movie with one of my favorite directors. This is not her first time. She's with Steve Carell.
well, that's right. And they were
Yeah.
also in The Office together, right? So
Oh,
they
yeah,
reunited.
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they play divorced parents, but yet they still, they still communicate and everything because they want to help their son. It's very, very hard to watch this film. It's hard to say I liked it. I didn't like it. It's just one of those that. Oh
Well,
my
I'm
God,
hearing
another
amazing
drug-addicted
things
film.
about Steve Carell's performance. I mean, that's
Very
all
good.
anybody's
He's an
ever talking
amazing
about.
dramatic actor. There's no question about it. Every time we see Steve Carell,
Yeah.
he's fabulous. I always say that about comedians. They make the best dramatic actors.
Yeah.
And Timothy, again, it just breaks your heart. No spoiler alert because it is based on a true story.
Right.
He does eventually.
Oh, I don't know the
himself
story.
clean. But it's really a tough one.
Jeff,
It's a tough one to
did it
watch.
break your heart, Jeff?
It broke my heart, and not only that, without getting too serious here, the movie really spoke to me because I've known people over the last 4 or 5 years who have major addictions that I've tried to help, who've been in rehab 3 or 4 times. I've known a few people who've died from overdoses. I've actually tried to help people who had addictions, some friends in my life, and watching this movie really hit home for me because the ultimate message at the end of this film is, and I was told this even from psychology professors who have dealt with addiction problems, you can't help people unless they want to help themselves. They're constantly going to say, I've been clean for months, and they're lying, or can I come home?
Yeah.
And then it all starts over again. He robs, he lies, he does everything, and you reach out to him because you just feel for Timothy's character in this movie because it's addiction. He's not doing it to be spiteful. He has a medical problem. And Steve Carell has said in 60 Minutes interviews, he was never a comedian. He started out as a dramatic actor. So some of the roles he got were comedy based. Now, aside from that, I think this movie's brutally honest. I think it's something that everyone should see. And not only that, a lot of people are come out going, that was my story, or I can relate to what's going on screen. Here's what the opioid crisis going on right now. So not only that, Steve Carell is incredible in this. Timothy Chalamet is, I figured it out halfway through the movie, he is the James Dean of our time. He really is. This kid does these scenes in this little cafe with Steve Carell where he's like, Dad, I'm an addict. And not to give any spoiler away, but I thought, Bonnie, at the end of this film, when he was on the bathroom floor, I thought he was going to die. I thought that was his death scene. And that was just, I mean, he looked like he was really on heroin in that scene. But overall, no, it's not. Because I realized, I come out with some other critics, I go, why didn't they kill him? That would have been so powerful. It's a true story. Nick is still alive. Nick is still alive. And the final thing here, I'm honored. Yes, the cat's out of the bag when I tell you this, is that next week I'm hosting a Q&A screening here with David Sheff, the actual father.
Oh,
wow.
So he's gonna,
good. Nice.
Yeah, so the studio called me and I said I would be honored to do that. And like I said, I can ask the right questions because that movie spoke to me. So it's one of my favorite films of the year, top 5.
All right, well, Jeff, give me a letter grade.
Oh, A.
Oh, wow. Because we know that Jeff doesn't give out those A's too often. So
I give them out for my top 10 films. In this movie, I was blown away. I really was.
Bonnie.
Especially, oh gosh, go ahead.
No, B plus.
Oh, B plus. She changed it mid thing. B plus for Bonnie.
For the performances.
Okay. Jeff, sorry I cut you off there, buddy. Did you want to add one more thing?
I was just saying I was blown away by those guys' chemistry, by Steve Carell and Timothée
Yeah.
Chalamet. I mean, and I heard
No,
so
I
much
agree.
about this movie, but I didn't know it was going to be that powerful. I really didn't. So,
Well,
and a lot of
yeah.
people came out with a different attitude because they don't understand what was going on screen. They don't know anyone that's gone through that, and people who have
Right.
stolen and lied and all. And I've been through that for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's a nightmare. It really is.
Steve Bartusiak just joined. He could be joining us by going to, calluslive.com, but he has not. So, all right, speaking of movies that I never heard of, here's The Happy Prince. By the way, 25 minutes to cut this logo out from the poster. So, Jeff, I know you saw the movie. Tell us your thoughts.
It's Rupert Everett's movie. He not only stars as Oscar Wilde, he directs the
he
film.
directed the movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't come any better for these period pieces. And Oscar Wilde has always been a fascination with me. And I learned through Oscar Wilde through my admiration of Monty Python. Because, Graham Chapman, and they always did sketches. They always quoted stuff. There's some really famous philosophical and literature that they do jokes on. And Oscar Wilde was always a Monty Python, and that's what introduced me to it. So to see this movie about his life, and Rupert Everett, actors come along with a script once in their career that they're going to be defined by. And Rupert Everett, even though he's had a career for the last 30 plus years, this is his movie. This is his baby. It's all up there on the screen. I just enjoyed this immensely because when these period dramas happen, they can be either slow and monotonous, or they can be extremely entertaining and insightful. And that is what The Happy Prince was. I totally enjoyed this movie.
So what you're saying is the only thing that could have made this movie better was if Dakota Johnson was in it? Is that what you're saying?
Dakota Johnson? Boy, I better get going
I
here.
know, exactly.
Let's go.
Now, Bonnie, I'm assuming you didn't see this because you did. Yeah,
No,
you did, yeah.
I didn't see it, and I missed the screening here in Toronto. I am confident that we will get a screener of this because they're going to want to push him for Best Actor, maybe even Director. I don't know. But it's funny because I just got back from Ireland a few months ago, and the first thing I saw when I got there, we dumped our bags off and went for a little walk, and there's a big giant, statue of Oscar Wilde in the main square there, and I took a picture with it, and I just thought, how cool! Like he was such a cool poet and has such a huge presence in Ireland, and so when I found out about this film, I was like, so like I say, I can't wait to see it on screener. And also, I've seen Rupert Everett live on stage here in Toronto. He's just such a great actor. He really is. So I am so excited for his directorial debut because actually, I don't know if this is a debut for him in directorial. Yeah, maybe he has directed before. I'm not 100% sure.
I think this is it. I think this is it.
Yeah. But I
remember
could just
seeing
see him.
In the 1980s, he did a movie called Another Country. That's the first time I ever saw him in. That was just phenomenal. So I've been a fan of
he's
his
so good.
for the last 25 years. And I'm just
I
saying, Bonnie,
agree.
you can even call up Sony and they'll send you a screening link. You can see it.
Oh, well.
Yeah, okay, good idea. Either that or they always send a screener, so I'm not that worried about it, but I do really want to see this movie.
Well, period piece, it's at the bottom of the pile. I'm sorry.
Boo.
Boo. Jeff, give me a letter grade.
Get some culture, Chuck.
Give me a letter grade there, Jeff.
Oh, a B. A solid B.
A solid B. Okay, well, something, we're going to call it.